Yeah. So in last class here, in intent, we added here multiple buttons, like 3 buttons we added. So for each button, we are writing the listener like this. Means approximately it's a 6 to 7 lines of listener we are writing for every button. Like if I have, let us consider, if I have 100 events in my single class, or for 5 events in single class. So is there any shortcut to create this instead of these many lines? Yes, obviously it is. So for that, what we did in the last class is just we applied here button dot set on click listener here, just this. So this indicates here it asking to implement this, means just else I'll show you again this. So like this, if we are doing like this, so what happens immediately, it will ask here. So to implement, make implement. So once we click on implement here, so once we click on implement here, then immediately this implement here, it will come, implements view on click listener. Then here in the bottom, one method can create, that is on the name of on click. So in this on click, right now we have 3 buttons. So the 3 buttons I handle with this view. Means it's a return type of this specific method is the view. So based on this view here, if view dot get ID, so this based on that ID. So what is that ID? First ID. Here we already get this IDs r.id dot button. So if I'm clicking on this button, I'm writing this action, that is a button view. If I'm writing this camera, if I'm writing else, because only 3 buttons. If these 2 are not, then obviously it goes for a third. In a third, what we did, just by clicking that, automatically it can open an action. So this is a way we can reduce the code. Just we will run this program. This is now executing or not, we'll see, and we'll go to the next level of this. So I connected my mobile, just I'm running this program. I'm opening Visors. So here we can able to see the last time it does actions, the same actions it's performing or not. So based on that actions, we'll go for the next activity here. Still it is done. Once it is done, we can able to see here. See, just it is installed here. So now I'm clicking on this here. Say it's opening website. Means last time what we did actions, that is performing the same. And next I'm clicking on this camera. Say camera is opening. And I'm clicking on this gallery. Say gallery is opening. So there is no difference, it is working. So but here what happens here, if we go like this, here we can reduce the code. Obviously we can reduce, because every listener we are writing the 6 to 7 lines, but here only 1 line here it is generated. In this, just we are writing the one if else case, we are writing this code. So here just we are writing offline extra. This is means instead of writing this much, we are directly writing that. So this is the one way to reduce the coding this. Okay, this is just it is a not only for intent, it's a common for everywhere. Everywhere, whenever you have this multiple listeners, in this way we can reduce. This is one of the method to reduce the code. So now like this we'll see here. Now as we discussed in the last class, we discussed about intents. So here now we'll see some differences between the differences between intent, this is implicit intent and explicit intent. So implicit and explicit intent. So what are the differences? So here there are major differences are there. This, see, first is the implicit intent. So implicit intent is nothing but here it is a specific action. So where we can perform the action directly, we are calling that this, like open the website, open the camera, open this. So for this case, what happens here? In this, when we are writing this specific codes and all, maybe somewhere we need to give a permission in a manifest file, like users permission that we need to define in manifest file. Next is the explicit intent, where for this explicit intent, always we can call the new class. So new class means here, see, get application context, and here we are saying this new class. So always we are calling the new class that we are creating. So that must and should you need to define in your manifest file. So this is here, differences are here. As already mentioned, the above explicit intent that are which has clear and knows exactly activity to handle the new request. Means when we are creating the new activity, it goes to one activity to other activity. But here, if you implement does not specific component like explicit, here we need to create general. Already last time in the class also we discussed, when we are doing that, it's a simply predefined. No need to remember the code. Just you can search and you can get the code that is a fixed code. So like this. Next is the explicit intent can do specific application action, that is like changing activity and downloading the files in the background like that. So it's always it should be the specific one that we can handle this. Here it's a only action performed on the specific Android component, means it's a predefined component. So for this we are doing this. And in a explicit intent, you can pass the data to the next activity also. And here, this is a OS based, we cannot pass any data kind of thing. But here, data passing is there, but data passing is I'm putting now in appending because you not yet practiced the previous class. Once you practice that class, I'll show you how to pass the data from one activity to other activity, that I'll show you in the next after practicing this. And explicit intent are used to communicate inside the application, like changing one activity to other page, means why moving to one page to other page. But in explicit, we can open the other applications, like camera is a different application, browser is a different application, and the gallery is the different application. So when we can open the third-party applications. And in explicit intent, action target is delivered when the filter is not considered, means action target must ensure it required in an intent filter, means in a manifest file we are defining that, so that must and should be here. An implicit call, it's a OS based. Sometimes for some of the things it needs the permission. So these all are the major changes for implicit and explicit. So now we'll see one other one. So that already we are discussing that. So in a context, this word about this context we will discuss. So what is context? Here we used already in a two places. I hope as of now we used in a two places. One is the toast and the other is the intent. We use the context. So like how we are using in a toast dot make text. Toast.make text. So your syntax is here context. Then after context followed by the message which we want to show, then duration. Finally, it's a dot show. So this is the syntax of this. In case of intent, so for explicit intent, so what we are doing, intent something declaration equal to new intent of here context, comma, target activity. So target activity. So this is the way we are using it. So now this means this context. As of now, we use in 2 places, but by end of the course, we'll use in many places of this context. But what is the meaning of context? Context is nothing but which refer superclass. Which refer superclass. So which refer superclass. Then how can I define? So how can I define means? So first is the class name dot this. This is a one way. So this is the first way we can define here. And some places we define as directly this, and some places we defined as means like we defined as a directly context also. Depends on various situation, we can define this. And some places we will write get activity. So get activity. But as of now, only we seen this. Means context we can define in 4 ways. One is the class name dot this, second is the this, sometimes context, and sometimes get activity dot this. So here we will see here some what we can use here. See here we have total 3 buttons. So while starting this intent here, I want to show some toast. So toast dot make text. Here I am writing this get activity. It is not showing. Why it is not showing? Because here this is the we are now see we are not inside the class. We created outside this main activity. We are already outside of that. So in this specific case, you can use, we cannot use direct this also. We can use directly the, so yeah, I can use this, and message is hello, then duration toast dot length long, finally dot show. See, now I'm running this. This toast is working or not, we will see. Implicit. Which one? First one. See. Hello. Oh, sorry. I will not open this one. See, I'm clicking on here website. See, by clicking this, toast has came, then it is navigating. Means here it is working here this. Like this, it can be work. Means here context we can use as a this. But what is the difference between this and class name dot this? See here, I'll write in for next button. I'm writing here main activity dot this. So for next one, I have written as a main activity dot this. It's open. Now I'm clicking on the first one. So it is working fine. Hello. Second one, I'm clicking on now camera. Camera opened. Also, we are able to see this message as well. So then what is the difference between which one is suggestible? So always the main activity dot this is the suggestible. Why? Because see in our this here this is the class. In this we have only one class. Remaining all are the methods. So because of that, here this is working. But sometimes in my class there are multiple inner classes are there. That time maybe this can be confused, means which superclass it should call. So because of that, this one is the suggestible. Always the second one is the suggestible. The first one is the we can use, but it's a not suggestible. Not suggestible. This is. Then what about these two? Context and get activity. So these two we will use in a fragments. That is advanced topics where we can use when we fragments topic will come. On the fragment topic we will discuss about this. In a fragment topic, what happens here? The UI, what is the screen is there? That single screen I can split into the multiple areas. So on that area we will discuss about this context as well as the get activity. These two things we will discuss there. So with this, see, we almost done. Means in intent part we are pending with one thing, that is data passing using the explicit intent. So that is fine. Now one more other thing I'll show you here, means this listeners. I want to handle this listeners in a one different way. So for that, again, I'm opening this our regular means which we did previously, that intent example. So in this intent example, what happened here in our main class? So this is a main class. Here we have in a main class, we have one button. So in this button, so we have button declaration. Just we will run this, we'll see, then we can go and discuss on this. So here button action, and here we will apply the listener, then it is moving to the next activity. But is there any other way to handle this listeners? See, now here I'm picking this, it is moving to the next page. But now this action I want to handle in some other different way. So how to handle this? So here in a XML itself, I'm giving you as one on click. So just I'm adding this click me. So then here now I'm commenting this code here. This code also. So then here, so here this you can choose this create click me view in main activity, means that is a main activity is nothing but it's a class. So see here outside of on create method, one is created this. So then here copy this, means just we are writing the intent only, right? So that intent I pasted here. See now this action is performing or not, we will see. Then afterwards we will see which one is best. This is okay, or we need to go for the previous one, that we will see here. So just I'm running this. Okay. Starting. Yeah, now we are in first class. I'm clicking on this. So we are moving. Means here action is performing. So for this action is performing, but here we are using the new method called here on click. But have you observed or not here while I'm selecting here on click? See that is a striked with a line. So in our programmatic language, whenever if any specific method or class or method or specific action, specific predefined components, when we are using that is striked with the line means that as deprecated. Deprecated in the sense that is not in a use on the place of that now other some method as came. So that method is nothing but here. See what is on click. Instead of this on click, already we are using this one on click listener and all. But again, why we are discussing about this means maybe when you are doing a project means in existing projects, maybe you get support and all in a company. So there may be the chance to get these kind of listeners. When you face this kind of listener in our industry, just you can update that kind of listeners to what we discussed in our last classes, this method. This method is now, it is a deprecated, so don't use this. Deprecated in is nothing but it's a still it is, that means it's a just it's kind of warning. Means after few days, that method could not be available. But immediately if it is deleted, other people's code will affect, right? Because of that, they will give us some warning kind of thing. That is a deprecation period. In the deprecation period, when we are updating your projects and all, you can update that code to the next level of code. That is now here we are using the on click listener, this one. So on that way, we need to update this code. So that is the on click listener here. Use of that on click listener is this. So now this is about the some ways of this. So the next topic here is, so that is independent of this what we discussed as of now. So this is next topic is Android components. So just today we will see this theoretical. In the next classes we will see the one by one what components are there, how this can perform in the actions and all, we will see this. So in Android, there are 4 types of components are there. One is the activity. Second is the service. Third is the broadcast receiver. So third is the broadcast receiver. And fourth is the content provider. So in this, as of now, we not yet discussed anything specific to this topic, but what we are creating activity means like intent, we created one new activity. So here activity means it's a single page with XML and Java file. Means it's a single page. That single page should contain one XML as well as one Java file. So means it's if it is a single XML file, we cannot perform any action on that. If it is a single Java file, we cannot perform anything on a UI activities. So because of that, activity is nothing but it should be the combination of XML and Java, that is a single page. So here intent, while using the explicit intent, we added 2 or 3 activities. Means that particular position we have, if I have the 3 activities in my application, means 3 XML files and 3 Java files minimum, that is minimum. Sometimes 3 activities, but I am using 5 Java files, 6 Java files also in the specific cases. But that remaining all other Java files we could not say as activities. Sometimes maybe XMLs also will take the more than one XML support. Even that time also we cannot say those specific XMLs comes under into the activities. Activity means must and it should be tie up with XML and Java. Then only that we can say as a activity. So that is first component. So about this first component, in activity lifecycle, there are various lifecycle is the lifecycle methods and all. So that we will discuss along with the example program and diagram. We will discuss in our next class. And the next here is the service. So this service is nothing but this is a second component of Android. So this is the long running background services. Long running background services. So what is the meaning of long running background service? Let us, for example, normally we are downloading some videos, some movies and all. So what happens here? When I click on download, I'm performing some other activities, but that can be happening in the background. So such kind of, we can say this is the this one, and alarm, reminders. So these all are the examples for the running, because I set an alarm at 6 a.m. Right now it is 8:30 a.m. But every minute by minute, it is checking that alarm time is happening or not. Alarm time is happening or not. It will check every minute by minute. So that is running in the background. So such kind of things as running in the background, we can say as the services. So those services also here we can see with the diagram as well as the diagram as well as the life cycle examples we will see in detail of this. And then next is the broadcast receiver. So broadcast receiver, it's a simply what we can say broadcast receiver is nothing but it's a broadcast announcements. So what is meaning of broadcast announcements? Like example is here, battery low, Wi-Fi available, alarm. So this kind of activities we can say as the broadcast receiver. Broadcast receiver is nothing but it's a background operations. So background operations, it can give the broadcast announcements to the user. So that we can say as a like example is the battery low, Wi-Fi available, Bluetooth available, and alarm. So I write alarm in the top as well as here. Then why? See, if service here, this service does not have any UI. This is only in the background. It does not have any UI. Then how it can communicate with the user? So service is running. That service is says that now 6 a.m. is happened. For example, 6 a.m. is happened. 6 a.m. is happened means immediately that in that give the information to the broadcast receiver. So then broadcast, what happens? The broadcast receiver invokes the alert. The broadcast receiver invokes the alert. Then that announcement will goes to the activity. Then finally activity only communicating with the user. Means without service, without broadcast receiver, activity can run, but without activity, there is no meaning for these two components because it's running in the background. Both means service is running in the background. Service indicated that 6 a.m. is happened, or your barley row that it is indicated to broadcast receiver. Again, finally, what it goes? That broadcast receiver must and should communicate with the activity. Means it should wake up the activity. Then that activity can show action to users because we are view. It's a view is coming from the activity only. So activity should show to the user. Because of that, without activity, service and broadcast receiver is a meaningless. So, but without broadcast and service, activity can run because on the go, what we are performing the actions. So such kind of activities can be done by the activity. So that is, and the next one is the content provider. So what is content provider? In that word itself, it is the content provider. So it is providing the content. So what kind of content it is providing? So it provides content. So what kind of content? For example, in a message, I'm sending one message to you. Okay, I'm sending one message to hi, hello, good morning. Like I'm writing some message in my message. So then after that, what I'll do, I'll search for the contacts because I saved your number on contacts. Just I'm searching in contacts. So I'm searching in a contacts on your name. Then I can send message to you. In case, for example, in case there is no content provider in our phone, then what happens? I cannot send direct message to you because I cannot search from the messages on your number. So then what happens? Either I need to go and copy your number from the messages, and then I can select in a contact, in a messages, I can paste your number and send message. So that is the reason this content provider is very, very important in our this. Like not only this, if WhatsApp, I'm saving your number on my contacts, but in a WhatsApp also I'm able to see your name. So means all social media comes here because we are saving your numbers or your mail IDs in my contacts, but I can able to see that in other different apps. Simply it is a data providing to different applications, not a same application, it's providing to the other applications. So I can able to access components in other application. Same like this is not only contacts in a WhatsApp. From the WhatsApp, I can able to send an image, I can able to send a video, I can able to send an audio from my gallery. Means in my phone, it is storing in some location. From the location, I'm picking that specific video or specific image or specific audio or PDF or any document kind of thing that I can able to share to the respective contact. So this is also example of content provider. This already we seen in a intent example. Means just we opened the gallery, but just we opened, but we not fetch that document into that document fetching and all we'll see later while we are discussing about the content provider. But just basic thing, accessing the content provider means for this on the top of this here, these four components majorly runs on the intent only. Because of that is the reason intent is very, very important. So just you can concentrate more on the intent which we discussed. Means in intent, after that I said in intent there is one more topic, data transfer. With the data transfer, it should maximum it should close. But while we are going in a step by step in a next advanced programs also, intent will cover some parts of that. Intent will come in different places in a different areas. That one by one will go because intent is the huge topic, but basic stuff we discussed earlier. So once you have that good scope in the basic things, easily we can elaborate the next components. So okay, so this is about the Android component. So in our next class, if you already practice that one, we will see the data transfer between the activities. Else we start with the activity life cycle and all in our next class. Okay, thank you. We'll see you next class.